Ladies and gentlemen of Cambria, let's take another look at some more chord systems. Today we're going to look at a Baroque system, and this is just for interest's sake. Before we go there, we have to talk about inversions. We touched on that briefly in one of the other sessions, but when you have a chord, like a C major chord, and the C is at the bottom, the C is called the root of the chord, and this is called root position. Then if you put the E on the bottom, that's the first inversion. If you put the G on the bottom, that's the second inversion. If we took an E major chord, root position, first inversion, second inversion. And if you have a seventh chord, like C, E, G, B flat, now that would be root position. The first inversion would have the E on the bottom. Second inversion would have the G on the bottom. And the third inversion would have the B flat on the bottom. Pretty straightforward. So, we're going to take a look at a Baroque piece. This is one, I think, familiar to everybody. This is coming from Messiah, Worthy is the Lamb. And it'll be easier, I think, if you look at the version of this that I enclosed with fast notes. It gives a better picture of it. And this is the bass line, and this is just the soprano line for reference. So in the Baroque period, the keyboard player was just given the bass line and these little numbers. The bass line, it's the same line that the string basses play, and often the same line that the bass singers sing. And so you see it has these little numbers, no numbers here, then a little 6 and a little 6, and then farther along there's a 4-2, there's a 7 with a sharp sign, and then at the end of that phrase there's another 6 and a 7 and a sharp sign. And just based on those little numbers, the keyboard player had to create a harmonic structure, a harmonic underpinning for the piece. And in our vocal scores, we always have a piano part written out, but there's nothing original about that. That's an editor trying to synthesize all of the instrumental parts into a playable piano part. The original Baroque keyboard player never had any of that. So they had to just use this, and there were some rules that went ahead with this system. So you can see the very first chord that you have is a D major chord. The piece is in D major, and all you have is the D. And if there's no little number, then that means a chord in root position. So there's the D, you add the F sharp and the A, and that's the harmony for that note. Then a little farther along you have a little 6 under it. That means you're going to add, it's an F sharp, you're going to add a 6th above it, and the keyboardist interprets that as meaning a chord in first inversion. If it had 6-4, it would be a different chord, you can see. And then there was another 6, and then you have one with a 4-2, and there's a G on the bottom, so you're going to have the A and the C sharp, the second note above and the fourth above. And so that's interpreted as a 7th chord in third inversion. Then you have a 7 with a sharp under it. The 7 indicates you're going to add the 7th degree above the note, and it's an F sharp. So you're going to add an E. And then the sharp by itself always refers to the third of the chord. So that means it's going to have a sharped third. And so then it's going to be that chord. And then at the end of the phrase, you have just a sharp again. So that means it's a sharped third. And so that's how that system works. You have to be a pretty quick keyboard player to read along and create a part to do that. Now I also enclosed in Fast Notes just another piece. It's from the Haydn Paukenmesse. And it shows that Haydn is also using this system, and it's more complex, but when you think it through, you could figure out all of those chords, I think. So that's the Baroque system of figured bass. Till next time.